Why everyone would love to see the Akashic Records. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Renan, Estime, and today we will be discussing the Akashic Records. If you are not familiar, I'm going to give you a quick breakdown so you can gain a little more knowledge of the universe. When it comes to seeing the future or the past, there is a library that records everything. Some people say it looks like a tunnel with TVs everywhere. Some people say computer screens. And some people say ancient books playing videos. But to be honest, it's going to look like anything that's familiar to you. So whenever you hear stories about ancient people being able to see the future, or a psychic that says they can see what's going to happen to you, they're claiming to be looking into the Akashic Records. I personally saw the records, and to me, it just looks like TVs in a tunnel. And now that you're familiar, let's break down on why everyone would love to see the Akashic Records. Reason number 9. You'd be able to see who your true love is. You spent most of your life digging through the trash bin of what they call a dating scene. And if you were able to take a glimpse into the future, you'd be able to see which relationships work. And if you took it a step further, you'd be able to see who you end up with. Hopefully they fine as hell, and preferably on the thick side. You would be able to see all the spots that you and her would travel to. You'd get to see what your kids look like with this person. And you'd get a head start on knowing what they like. But to be honest, I think that might be a spoiler. If you already know who you're gonna end up with, how would you treat your other relationships? Are you gonna sit back and milk this person knowing you're not gonna stay with them? Will you turn down everyone till this person shows up? To me, that's a little much. If I got 3 summers before this girl shows up, I'm wilding out. I'm at every function. I'm at every concert. I'm all up in Beyonce's DMs. I'm trying to live my life. And that brings us to number 8. We could finally put the who built the pyramids debate to rest. I've seen people argue back and forth about this topic for too long. And to me, it's clear as day how they got there. And it wasn't no slave with a rope. So we need everyone to hop into the records, take a look, and come back. The only people that would have a problem with this would be Hollywood, because you know how they like to cast African kings and queens. They'd also have to deal with the fact that black folk can be found everywhere. I'm talking North America, South America, and all over Asia. Hell, that's probably why they don't want you looking at the records. You might find a gem, bring it back, and expose them. They say history is written by the victor, but they also say the truth shall come to the light. And I'm pretty sure real black history is something they want to keep in the dark. But maybe as more people wake up, the records will become a little more public. Number 7. You would be able to look at how your life turned out. Just imagine what you would do if you could see if you achieved all your goals. It would light a fire under you. Because if you saw yourself sleeping on the streets, I guarantee you would get on your grind. I see people every day throwing their lives away. I bet everyone watching right now knows at least one person that sleeps the entire day away. They sit back and act like everything is going to fall in place. But they put absolutely no effort into changing their circumstances. If they could get a glimpse into that horror show they call their life, they'd start a company before the night was through. Because I'm pretty sure no one wants to be labeled a failure their entire life. And that brings us to number 6. You'd be able to see all the mistakes you made in the past from a new point of view. Now, we all have made mistakes. And sometimes it's hard to see where we went wrong. We think about the situation, but we put our own spin on it. But as we get older, we start to think about things differently. So if we could access the records and rewatch the event, we might actually learn the lesson. You might actually learn that it was wrong for you to steal out of your best friend's house. You might realize that you were the high school bully that everyone talked about. You might see that you were never a good person and work on changing that. Or on the other side, you might see a moment that traumatized you. And maybe rewatching it would help you cope with the event. And that brings us to good old number 5. You would be able to know for sure if she or he cheated. Some of you have been suspicious your whole relationship. It's holding you back from being happy. No matter how many years go by, you have a nagging feeling that your loved one was sneaking behind your back. They keep denying it and you have no evidence. So it's kind of hard to confront them. But over the years, the story has changed a million times. All you're left now with are little clues of what happened that night that you were missing. But with the records, you could simply go back and look. Now, don't get me wrong, it might break your little heart. It would be a very big decision for you to make. Would you really want to see if your loved one cheated on you 10 years ago? Or is this something you could simply sweep under the rug? The choice would be yours to make. And that brings us to number 4. You'd be able to relive your happiest moment. Life is sometimes hard. You wake up every day and repeat the same process. It might be rolling out of bed and getting ready for work. Or it might be quickly getting up and getting ready for class. We could get caught up in the grind and start feeling depressed. And sometimes we forget what happiness is. So with the ability to look into the past, you'll be able to relive a happy moment that brought you the most joy. It might be a family reunion or the year you won the science fair. It might be a first kiss or a first date. But if you had the chance, I'm pretty sure you'd take it. I'm a pretty happy dude, but if I could access the records again, I'd probably look at when I lived in the Bahamas. I'd sit back and feel the breeze and linger a little as I watch the clear blue ocean water. It would be lit. And now, number 3. You'd be able to cut friends and family from the picture because you'd know who betrays you. As you know by now, not everyone is looking out for you. And sometimes your worst enemy is closer than you think. The number one way to build success is to have a great team around you. And you can't do that with Judas hanging around. If you get a chance to look into the future, you better see who the backstabber is. And when you get back, you better cut them off as soon as possible. Some people don't even know that their parents want to see them fail. Just because you're their flesh and blood does not mean they want you to succeed. You have to remember that misery loves company. Also, you might have some friends that are preying on your downfall. Just because they ride to the club with you does not mean they want to see you become a millionaire. I bet if you blew up now, they'd be the first people to write a tell-all book. The behavior is slimy and sick, but it's reality and it's hard to do anything about it. And that brings us to number 2. You could win the lottery. Now, I don't know why my soul be playing, but he need to give me them numbers. I promise on everything I'm not gonna let it go to my head. As soon as I get the big house with the big boat, I will give to charity. I'll spend some of that money and help out some of the street kids. I'll start a nonprofit organization. I'll even open up a daycare. What's up? And I know if any of y'all got a glimpse into the records, y'all would do the same. And I understand that there's a level of trust in getting access to it. But I promise, universe, you won't regret this. And now the number 1 reason is we'd be able to put every single ounce of our energy into making the world a better place. Because seeing a positive future where everyone lives in peace is something that will change you forever. And understanding that everything has a meaning will be the foundation of life. Now, if you have any questions about the Akashic Records, I will be answering every one of them in the comment section. And I'll see y'all next week. Now hit subscribe.